This is Tom Fox. I'm the Compliance Evangelist, and I'd like to welcome you to a special 5-part podcast series sponsored by Hanzo. In this series, we consider how to leverage artificial intelligence in compliance investigations. In this podcast series, I'm joined by several members of the Hanzo team as we explore the current best practices around investigations and how your compliance function can take investigations to a new level of cost, efficiency, and operational proficiency utilizing tools provided by Hanzo. Our explorations include considering the Department of Justice's guidance on investigations recently released, the use of AI in the Hanzo Investigator, how Hanzo technology can help a company overcome investigative challenges, and Hanzo's specific approach to finding and managing data across literally the entire life cycle of an investigation. In this exploration, we are joined by Sean Friedland, Hanzo's Senior Product Marketing Manager and Compliance, Jim Murphy, the VP of Products, and Keith Laska, the CEO of Hanzo. I know you will enjoy this series. It has lots of information packed into it, which you will be able to utilize in your compliance program and more specifically in your investigations going forward. In this part 2, I visit with Jim Murphy, the VP for Products at Hanzo, to consider how to conduct more conclusive compliance investigations utilizing AI and web-based evidence going forward. Well, hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, back for another episode in our 5-part podcast series with Hanzo on conducting more conclusive compliance investigations with AI and web-based evidence. Today, I'm joined by Jim Murphy. Jim is the VP of Products at Hanzo. So, Jim, first of all, thank you for taking the time to visit with me today.
Thanks very much, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Jim, I was wondering if you could start by telling our listeners a little bit about yourself and your role at Hanzo.
Yeah, absolutely. So the last 20 years or so, I've been in the kind of e-discovery, corporate IT, legal world. And in the last 6 years, I've been here at Hanzo focused on web content. Currently running our product team, and our focus really is on understanding problems in the market and bringing solutions to our customers.
So, Jim, with that, I was wondering if we could turn to talking about investigations which derive either from hotline or whistleblower reports. In most of my experience in the compliance and investigative fields, when we conduct an investigation, whatever it may be, harassment, Me Too, fraud, bribery. Traditionally, we're using well-known lawyer techniques, which are internal interviews with employees and company data to help inform the decision. But Hanzo really, I think, takes this process to a much more efficient level using technology. And I was wondering if you might be able to talk to us about the technological innovations that Hanzo has brought and why they would help someone like myself or anyone else who's doing an internal investigation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tom, for the past decade, Hanzo's team has been building a technology that really helps our customers that are in the legal, e-discovery, and compliance areas overcome their challenges around finding, preserving, archiving, and taking a look at their web and social-based data. At the core of our investigator technology is that same core tool that harvests content from the web. What we've done is we're able to combine artificial intelligence and machine learning so that we're able to tackle a new and different goal, which is leveraging the web as a data source to quickly uncover information that can be relevant to an investigation. And we're doing that in a legally defensible manner. Since we've introduced this technology, we've seen it be extremely successful for our law firms and our e-discovery professionals. And we're excited to open it up to our compliance teams so that they can see the same benefits. Let me talk a little bit about what it means to run an investigation at Hanzo. For us, kind of the most direct use case could be around misconduct, could be around sexual harassment, and those events leading to an investigation. This might be internal. We also see potential here for investigating bribery, corruption, fraud, third-party risk, and other challenges that the compliance teams are facing. So the investigation itself, I always think about it in kind of as three pillars of tech. The first tech is really about finding content on the web. And the way that we're approaching that right now is provided with some information about a person. I might call that a subject. That's where the first place that we're leveraging AI and machine learning is to go out onto the web along with third-party databases where we're finding, and I usually use myself as the example, we're finding the right Jim Murphy. I live in Minnesota, and there happens to be a lot of Jim Murphys in Minnesota. So that's where we're building out models, which, given the right information, ties me into the right Jim Murphy. Once we find that right subject, we're also able to identify social media profiles. And those social media profiles, that's where, we kind of come back into Hanzo's core technology, which is harvesting that content off of the web. Once we have that data, we kind of move into our second pillar here, which is we're applying kind of an analysis phase. And currently, what we're doing is using a lot of keyword matching. So when you come to Hanzo, not only kind of understanding who a person is, but also what the investigation is about, we're able to look through all of the posts in social media or on the web, and we're really pulling out the posts that are or may be relevant to that case using that keyword matching. The keyword matching leads to kind of a filtered set of content, and we move into that third pillar of the investigation. In that third pillar, that's where we're really looking at how can we now give out a report, and that's currently what we hand out is a report, an actionable report that our teams, our customers' teams, are able to bring back to their review process. And really make decisions, do we want to go this way? Do we want to go that way? It's helping them inform their processes based on what we've been able to uncover off of the web.
You really gave some great information in there, and it really ties to specifically what the government in the form of the Department of Justice and Securities and Exchange Commission have instructed compliance practitioners to do. And I'd like to pick up on a point raised by your colleague, Sean Friedland, in the first episode of this podcast, where we discussed how industry research showed that many compliance investigations today are either unsubstantiated or can take up to 40 days from start to finish. It really seems like the ability to find and analyze data from the web and social media in this automated fashion can help overcome these challenges. And really, more importantly, what the government says is that you must quickly, expeditiously, yet efficiently conclude your investigation. And from the company's perspective, if an investigation takes that long a time, the illegal, unethical, or harassment conduct could continue. And it really could drive up the cost in terms of a fine or penalty in an investigation. Did I really get that right from you?
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right. And the thing that we keep seeing out in the marketplace is that, doing some of this investigation work when, looking at the web and looking at social media, it's a pretty daunting task. And really kind of the challenge and the problem that we're looking to solve is to make that easy, to remove the friction, and to really make it accessible to our customer base, in a way that works in their workflows, and also works within their schedules to complete a certain task.
Jim, you detailed some of the challenges that this technology developed by Hanzo can help a company with, and you detailed finding, preserving, archiving, and analyzing web and social media-based data. I'd like to focus on the preserving and archiving, because if you talk to any lawyer who routinely represents clients in front of the government in internal investigations, they uniformly say the government is concerned about your document security, your archiving, your preservation of evidence. I was wondering if you could give a few words about the preserving and archiving part, although recognizing that may not be the most sexy part of this, but it's certainly a very important part to the regulators.
Yeah, absolutely. So everything that we're doing from a preservation perspective, and this really is the core of what Hanzo has been over the years. The non-sexy part of it, I completely relate with. I once did a presentation where I took our archived material and utilizing hashing and utilizing metadata. Was able to verify and validate that the content that was captured on a particular day, which might have been 8 years ago, absolutely was the content that was on that website at that particular day. Now, that's not a fun exercise to watch, but when you need that exercise to be performed, that's something that Hanzo really hangs our hat on. That's where kind of we started off in this industry, and we've kept that as kind of the core of everything that we do with any new products or markets that we're pushing out into.
Well, Jim, unfortunately, we are near the end of our time today, but we will continue this conversation in our next episode, where we take a look at more specifically how this technology has been used by legal professionals in the past, and really why the compliance professional needs to embrace this technology. Jim, I look forward to continuing the conversation.
That's great. Thanks a lot, Tom.
Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox again. We will link to these resources in the show notes, but if you want to obtain more information, check out the Hanzo website at www.hanzo.co. There are a significant amount of resources available on the website. In addition to information on the Hanzo Dynamic Investigator, there's a series of ebooks, white papers, and other information which can help you in your investigation. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to visiting with you again. This podcast series is a special presentation of the Compliance Podcast Network.